has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on a bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad, the bad, apple with a bad attitude. We are live on Christmas Eve. Can you even imagine? I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones we knew before. The treetops glisten, and children listen until they drive Carver high out of his mind with stress, and then he busts off a 12-pack of tall boy Bud Lights and feels a lot better than he did a couple hours before. Ferrall's drinking rum and counting presents for all. Merry Christmas to you. Here he is, the Tutty and Tater King, Santa Claus himself in his greens. I'm in my greens and reds. We got it all going today. Couple of things, Carver High. Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas.
Last night, Ferrall won his 12th championship.
Wow, I forgot about that. Whoa.
4-point slim pickings win over Mango for a three-peat for the hated most, their 6th championship. They're still 6 shy of Uncle Futrelli, who won 11 with the Ferrall Ballers, and now 1 with the hated most organization coming off the bench. Now, I did not play last night due to the closeness of the game. All the guys I play with are selfish asshats, and none of them ever come out of the game. So I actually brought a water bottle filled with rum, and I just sat on the bench drinking rum.
I mean,
and you know what I mean? I thought it was a good idea.
No,
and then you win a title, you get another banner.
Wait a second. No burn at all? You got no burn in the game?
No burn.
You didn't go in the game once? You didn't go in the game?
No. In the semifinal, I played 3 minutes. This game was so close. It was tied and lead changes 20 times. But the hated most pulled it out by 4 in the end. I think it was 63-59. And whatever. They've won 3 in a row. I'm on the team. I played in 9 of the 11 games. And I got another ring. I got another banner.
Congratulations.
Listen, I'm going to retire. On top.
Shutting it down?
I'm shutting it down because I did not enjoy being a bench player and never playing. Like I was the 12th man. I wasn't even the 6th man. So anyway, here's the deal. I told the guy that runs it, because I run it, I do all the media. And I said, I'll be an alternate. I'll still be on the team if they need me. If 4 guys only can play one night, call me, I'll play. If someone else in the league only has 4 guys and they need a body, I'm 8 minutes away. It doesn't matter who I play with. I put it in the hole. I score, and I rebound, and I foul hard. And that's all that matters. As you know, I do not run. I also do not hustle. I also do not dive on the floor for loose balls. And I do nothing to exert any energy whatsoever. Getting up and down the court is bad enough with my ticker, and just getting a sweat in is all I'm looking for. And I'm a hired assassin like Juan Soto. I go to a new team. What do? First season, bang, another title.
Wow. Congratulations.
I'm like halfway to the Yankees.
You're halfway home. Congratulations. Great job by you. And now you're hanging them up on top, which is how everybody, it's like Elway walking away.
Every game. I can't do it anymore like this. Sitting on the bench and the game start at 9:30. I get home at midnight. I'm like,
9:30?
This sucks. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, if you need me, I'll show up. If you don't need me, have fun. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it is a Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We have a lot to do today. Of course, there's not a lot of action today per se, right, Scotty? I mean, the Hawaii Bowl.
One game, and I'm not going to watch.
With USF and San Jose State is all you got tonight, but we have to get ready for a lot of action tomorrow on Christmas Day. And I know you're going to have, I don't think we mentioned it yet, Gabe, as always, coach in the second hour. And then, look at this. I mean, Elvis always comes down the chimney on Christmas Eve. I mean, you got to be kidding me. He must be coming on to talk about the 4 points that Crosby had last night against the Flyers. I mean,
you went over 500. How about this? You were right about the Islanders.
I told you. 7-1 they lost to the Sabres. I mean, that was pathetic at the horse track last night by them. So you have all that going on, and we will get you ready for Wednesday, Christmas Day. 2 NFL games, 5 NBA games. There's even, and this like almost slipped through the cracks with me, I didn't even realize that they're playing those 4 college rack games out in Hawaii tomorrow too. So you do have a lot of sports tomorrow. And the main event will be the first game of the day, though. I guess the second. The Knicks and the Spurs start at noon. The Steelers at the place the Steelers play on Christmas Day have the 14-1 Kansas City Chiefs coming into town. Can the Steelers not only help their own cause, but give me still a slither of hope that the Bills can get the 1 seed by knocking off the Chiefs and giving them their second loss? Can the Steelers do that for me tomorrow?
No. I'm worried. They look like Shaq the last 2 games against good teams, and they lost to both of them. And that's why I guess I was wrong all along about the Ravens being above the Steelers in the odds. I think maybe they got it right. I think the Ravens are more dangerous than the Steelers. If they play them again, anything's possible. The Steelers have won 8 of 10 against them, but they lost last Sunday, got doubled up, and the Philadelphia Eagles kicked their ass. Now you're playing a team that's better than both of them. The Chiefs are 14-1. They never lose. Mahomes is better than Russell Wilson. I said it to you yesterday. The Steelers have no Porter. Pickens is back. And I'm worried to death about them. Like, if they lose that game, that's 3 in a row. Then they go lose to Cincinnati next week on the 5th at home. I'm going to go to the game, freeze my ass off to watch them lose 4 straight. What could be worse going into the playoffs if they lose 3 and 4? I mean, they got to win one of them. And I think it's the one they got a shot at is Cincinnati. At home, they kick their ass in the jungle, but they're hot right now. Joey Silk's hot. I don't see him beating the Chiefs. I hope they beat the Chiefs. What's the spread of that game?
I actually saw it dip back to 2.5 earlier. So around 3, 2.5, 3 is where that's been. I'll give you the up to the second number later on when we hear
Kansas
Mike
City's
Tomlin's.
favorite.
Kansas City's favored at the place the Steelers play. We'll have Mike Tomlin's weekly words of wisdom on a Tuesday this week.
They kicked the Texans' ass and covered.
They did.
And that's what they're probably going to do to the Steelers. I mean, they're going to go 16-1. That's what they're going to do. And they're going to have
I
home
hope
field.
not. They're going to have home field. I agree with you on that. So we have that game. The other NFL game is the Ravens and the Texans. We'll talk about that. 5
Ravens are gonna win
NBA
that
games. 5 NBA games tomorrow. Wembanyama's in the Garden. You've got Luka and the Mavs playing. You've got, I guess Embiid's going to be fresh after getting thrown out of the game last night. He'll be good to go against the Celtics tomorrow.
Can you actually watch 5 NBA games in one day? Can you actually do it?
No shot.
There
is no shot that I would want. Yes.
Real quick. I believe that baby Jesus was born on this night at the stroke of midnight in the small town of Bethlehem. And I'm not talking about Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm talking about in a cradle, in a barn, behind the spa. Baby Jesus was born.
The holidays come with a touch of craziness, from unwrapping the latest storylines to the best betting insights. We've got everything you need to crank up the excitement this season. We can't promise there won't be a little yelling.
Play a decent schedule. They have maybe 500.
It just ruined my day.
But we can guarantee a whole lot of fun. Merry Christmas from all of us at SportsGrid.
You do not seem to be overly concerned about the Lions holding on to that 1 seed by the end of this season. Will Detroit have the NFC postseason run through the Motor City?
How many plays does the defense have to make in a shootout? They got to make 1 or 2 more plays than the other team. And if they can do that, then Detroit is very much alive in any game.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Dadiers, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koleks, those young kids, he wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. When he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I want to introduce, obviously, Frank the Tank and R.A. Dickey. Running the show today for Mafia, who's got a bunch of kids, and it's like a basketball team. His family's so big, and he has to do all that Christmas stuff. And then Luke's either at a wedding or drunk somewhere, or he could be at church praying for his sins on this Christmas Eve. Morency is on Sports Rage weeknights at 10 along all of our outlets. And thank God we steal him every day for a double shot from Vancouver, because Gabe knows I pass out by 10 o'clock and I don't have time to watch him at 10. So I get my full dose of him daily right here on C2C. Morency, Merry Christmas to you, brother. I hope your Christmas is awesome. Your family, your girl, your bets. I hope you get everything you hope for under the tree. And, we said there's going to be some sinning going on here on the show today later. But don't narc us out, because we'll know it could be you.
As we get older, I was tweeting about this earlier this morning. As you get older, and I'm not a Grinch type, I've always liked Christmas. I don't even mind Christmas music. And I like watching Die Hard and Trading Places and Ghostbusters and all the classics and all that. But as you get older, it really just becomes an excuse to get drunk, doesn't it, Scott? Let's just be real.
It is.
Like, to me, it's like that.
Tonight.
No, and I'm eating some turkey today. Like, I do this Euro style. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Christmas Eve. And, like, Christmas is at midnight. I used to actually go to Mass, man. And the whole deal, man. And, it's like a rock show on Christmas. They got the candles and the smoke, the big production and everything. Yeah. But I'll be real. I'm going to be drunk at midnight tonight, Scott. Yeah. So I'm not going to any Mass. The Mass in Morency will be taking place during the Hawaii Bowl tonight. South Florida and San Jose State. That's my Christmas. Let's go.
So I'm going out to a fancy restaurant at 8 o'clock with like 6 people.
It's going to cost you like 5 times.
Oh, no. Like more like 1,000. But I'm gonna be drunk before I get there. Because like you get there and it's $25 a drink. So I'm gonna have at least 4 or 5 before I get there. I have someone else drive me. I'm like in a limo with my wife. So I let the kids sit in the front seat. I'm in the back pimping, and I've already had like 5 double rums. I don't go to Mass anymore because they moved my priest. My priest lived next door to me forever in Hell's Kitchen, and they moved him to like Peru. And I have never forgiven the Catholics. I knew the guy for 30 years. I mean, he did all the funerals. He did all the christenings. He did all of everything. And then they moved him. He used to get high. He used to, are we on the air? We are. Don't talk about getting, no?
See, that's what I was thinking, Scott. I was thinking that going
like
to the Mass
would
like
help me. And then on Christmas Eve, he would bring all the kids down to the pulpit, they'd all sit on the floor, and he'd ask them what they want for Christmas, all the little kids. And then the new guy they brought in, this fat ass, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do the kids. He's all telling me 3,000-year-old stories of Jesus with a piece of salmon walking through the desert in his flip-flops. I'm bored to death. I went in there one day. I told him, I said, you know, they moved. He goes, why don't you come to church anymore, son? And I said, because you suck, and they moved Sean. Sean was my best friend. Lived next door to me. I love the guy. Imagine your priest gets boned up with you on the front steps in Hell's Kitchen. He smoked cigarettes by the pack. He was from Wales, and they moved him. These Catholics, they move people around like prisoners. The priests get moved around. When they're in trouble, they get moved around. When they're not in trouble, they get moved around. I do not agree with the Catholics anymore at all. I will never go to Mass again. I do not need to be told what to do by Catholics.
I was going to go for selfish purposes, actually. I figured, you know, a little bit of luck and blessings with the new year coming.
Sure.
A little bit of luck and blessings.
There we go. God's favoring your bets. God roots for
well, you know,
NBA
Christmas Day, you know, the NBA unofficial start of the season. I figured, I sort of needed a little bit of a blessing over me, a little bit. But we're ready to rock and roll.
A blessing.
Yeah.
You can get that from John Travolta. Have you seen him throw the sand on the tree and it glistens?
That's a good ad. I'll give him credit for it. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good, and he's still got the moves, even with that big pillow in his belly.
He can still move.
Doing the moves, right?
Yeah, he can still move. The ladies are still down. That is one of the better Christmas ads out there.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm not going to watch that game tonight. I'm going to eat and drink and be merry. And then one thing that's great about having older kids when they grow up is they don't make you get up at 6 a.m. to open presents. When little kids know that there's presents downstairs or in the family room, they're like terrorists. They get up at 6 a.m. They're jumping on your bed and the dog's barking. My kids sleep till noon. My son the other day he slept till 4:15 in the afternoon. We'll be lucky if he gets up at all for Christmas. He could care less. I gave him
there's NFL football this year.
Buy your mother some things. Go to the jeweler. Buy your mother some jewelry. Do this, do that. And it's like pulling teeth to get him to do anything. He smokes like 500 bong hits a day. Are we on the air? We are. Don't again. Second time. Stop talking about reefer. Well, Morency doesn't care when I talk about reefer. I know that much. Don't say reefer. Again, third time I've been in trouble, and the show just started. Morency, is there anything worse than only one sporting event, and that said sporting event is that crappy bowl game tonight? I mean, honestly.
No, I don't really have a problem with it, actually. There's a couple of hours. I don't need the stress of waking up like yesterday, waking up at 8 a.m, worried about a Coastal Carolina bowl game. So it gives people a final couple hours. It's the calm before the storm. There's no turning back. I don't have a lot of things to get, but I haven't bought anything for anybody, and I haven't done anything. And we're a couple hours away here. I plan, I don't know, I'm going to go for a little walk and see what I come up with.
Nothing for anyone.
Well, that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about
dispensary. Don't talk about. Okay,
well, they do.
4 times I've mentioned it.
They do have good gift ideas there. I've seen some nice little stocking stuffers there, but that's the beautiful thing about gift cards.
Be upset if you got her. A jar and they ate the buds for Christmas. And
I should be happy.
The holidays come with a touch of craziness, from unwrapping the latest storylines to the best betting insights. We've got everything you need to crank up the excitement this season. We can't promise there won't be a little yelling.
Play a decent schedule. They have maybe 500.
Oh, that just ruined my day.
But we can guarantee a whole lot of fun. Merry Christmas from all of us at SportsGrid.
You do not seem to be overly concerned about the Lions holding on to that 1 seed by the end of this season. Will Detroit have the NFC postseason run through the Motor City?
How many plays does the defense have to make in a shootout? They got to make 1 or 2 more plays than the other team. And if they can do that, then Detroit is very much alive in any game.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koleks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. When he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Go figure, the red phone has been ringing all day because I'm in trouble again. And it is Santa-like type phone. It's red. It's the craziest thing. It's like the bat phone. When you remember
The
when,
hotline.
yeah, you remember like the guy down in the cave, the butler, he would answer the phone and then they would go handle their business. Same kind of thing here at SportsGrid. It's a hotline for when I'm in trouble. So anyway, tomorrow the Steelers are playing the Chiefs. We've been talking about it for 2 days, Carver High and I. I haven't heard your opinion of it. As you heard what I just said to you, I'm worried about them. Like, they're falling to pieces, and now they're playing the best team in the NFL. People keep talking about how the Bills or, the Ravens or the Lions or the Eagles or whatever. The Chiefs are 14-1. The Super Bowl 2-time defending champs are 14-1. You've said they're not as good as they were. They win every game close. What do you think of them tomorrow against Pittsburgh? I still think they're better than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You're going to get, I like the Steelers tomorrow plus the 3 points. If there's ever a time to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, it's now, right? You're getting them on a short week. Yes, it's a short week for Pittsburgh too, but they're a beat-up football team, Kansas City. And the thing with this is Kansas City wins this game, they clinch home field in the AFC. And so this game really has massive implications across the board for other teams, right? Like you're the Denver Broncos. Suddenly the Broncos, they're not such a lock to make the playoffs anymore. They got to play the Bengals on Saturday, who are trying to catch them. And then, the Broncos finish their season with the Kansas City Chiefs. But if the Kansas City Chiefs win this game tomorrow, the game against the Bengals doesn't matter. And then that screws the Bengals. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of teams, including the Bills, they're going to be watching that game tomorrow, and everybody's going to be pulling for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game. As you talked about yesterday, it looks like Pickens is playing. He says he feels good. I really do think, he'll make a big difference, be able to stretch the field a little bit. I don't think the sky is falling on the Steelers. I didn't think the Steelers were a Tier A team, but I also don't think the sky is falling because you lost on the road at Philadelphia and you lost at Baltimore. How many teams? But the Buffalo Bills won on the road earlier this year. They lost at Baltimore, and then they lost at Houston. Right? I mean, that happens, guys. It just, you know what I mean? It depends on what time of the year it happens that people start to overreact or underreact about it. So I'm not gonna full out panic, but it's a must-win game for the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow. They got to stop the bleeding. The Ravens are coming strong. The Ravens play the Texans after. But I say that the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they don't win the game, listen, I love the teaser. I love the Steelers up to plus 10 points. All right. Now, what do we do with the other side of that? I'm going to figure it out. But I love the Steelers. The Chiefs don't blow anybody out. Like, yeah, they beat the Texans, but we covered the teaser with the Houston Texans. So if the Chiefs win, they're going to win by 3, and it'll be a push. Or they'll win by 1 or 2, and maybe we get lucky and win. But I do like the Steelers plus the points in this game. And as far as tonight's bowl game is concerned, it should be a pretty fun game. The South Florida Bulls, guys, this is an explosive offense. All right? They got their quarterback back. Their offense started to really put it together over the last 5-6 weeks of the season. And don't forget, this is the South Florida Bull team, Scott, that gave Alabama all that they can handle 2 years in a row. Right? I mean, last year it was like, scoreless at the half or whatever. And then this year they played a higher scoring game. Yeah. And they were trading blows with Alabama. I'm always, it's like the NCAA tournament, guys, when you get these sort of random teams that play against each other, or in any sport when it's like different matchups, not conference or random game. I like to rely on speed, Scott. Like Lemmy, a Motorhead, speed. And like we like to rely, and to me, South Florida's talent, they're going to be faster than the kids from San Jose State. San Jose State's best player isn't playing in the game tonight. Nash is their he's like one of the best wide receivers in the country. So he's going to the National Football League. He's not playing. I don't think it's the end of the world there, but I like South Florida plus the points in this game. I like how they played over the last month coming into this game tonight, and I think it's going to be a track meet. South Florida play like one of the fastest paces in the country, and San Jose State like to spread the ball around. This game is high for a reason. Give me South Florida plus the points and the over tonight.
Hold on, Frank's talking to me. Don't use the chapstick on the air anymore. What? Like, I don't understand that. So anyway, would you tease the Ravens down so that they're getting points?
This one I'm leaning with the Texans. Even though, I know the Texans are beat up, but I think there's a little bit of an overreaction right now. People either love or hate the Ravens all the time, and I think the Ravens are overpriced actually here.
All right, Merry Christmas, Morenzi.
The holidays come with a touch of craziness, from unwrapping the latest storylines to the best betting insights. We've got everything you need to crank up the excitement this season. We can't promise there won't be a little yelling.
Play a decent schedule. They have maybe 500.
They just ruined my day.
But we can guarantee a whole lot of fun. Merry Christmas from all of us at SportsGrid.
You do not seem to be overly concerned about the Lions holding on to that 1 seed by the end of this season. Will Detroit have the NFC postseason run through the Motor City?
How many plays does the defense have to make in a shootout? They got to make 1 or 2 more plays than the other team. And if they can do that, then Detroit is very much alive in any game.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koleks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like, no. Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I mean, bottom line is every day on Coast to Coast, Carver High and I hit tons of bets. That's just all there is to it. Like last night in the NBA, I raked. In the NHL, I raked. We raked in college football. Although I did take it in the arse on the Saints, getting 14. They couldn't score 1 point in that game. That was utterly embarrassing. But let's start with the NBA.
Yeah, let's get ourselves ready for tomorrow. We do have the 5 Christmas Day games, but there was a lot of action last night. We got Coach coming on in a little bit, so we'll do the basketball stuff now on Coast to Coast. We'll start with the Magic, who have, listen, despite losing all these guys, continue to play some pretty spunky basketball. They did it again at home last night. They beat the Celtics 108-104. Now, 1 point game, final 30 seconds. Magic ice it. Tristan da Silva doing the honors on FanDuel Sportsnet Florida.
Suggs guarded by a great defender, Holiday. Suggs got a screen. Carter rolling to the basket. Carter to Queen. TQ to da Silva for 3. He throws it!
So da Silva played for my guy, Tad Mata at Colorado. And he's a great coach, great guy, and he's got a great program out in Boulder. Just like Dion has on the football side. Colorado's been pretty tough the last several years in basketball because he's done a great job coaching them. And Da Silva would, let it fly in Buff games. And there he is doing it in the NBA at the Kia last night in Orlando. They had no business winning that game. I mean, the Celtics are champs. Their entire roster is injured, the Magic. And then they play with all these guys that finally got burned, and they beat them. I mean, that really was an unbelievable win last night.
Really good win for Orlando, that's for sure. Hawks beat the T-Wolves 117-104. T-Wolves have now lost 3 in a row. They got all kinds of problems, and they're playing Dallas tomorrow, right, on Christmas Day. So not a good scene for Minnesota the last couple of weeks. Heat did beat the Nets 110-95, so they did cover the number down there against Brooklyn. We can't get them all, I guess. The Knicks laying the hammer on the Raptors at the Garden last night. 139-125. Yes, push. But everyone was getting involved for the Knicks, even Miles Bridges on MSG.
Brunson on the steal on a bad pass. Brunson, Bridges, three-pointer, bang!
There's Mike Breen calling the Knick game for the first time in a month. This guy never, does he ever do the games? I mean, Kenny Albert does more games now. Bill P does more games than Breen.
He's got a very, very full schedule, Mike. A lot of ESPN games that he has to do. ABC, ESPN, Now, I wonder which one he has. I'll have to look this up. Those 5 games, usually it's the 5:30 game is the one the main crew is on, which is Philly and Boston. So I don't know if Breen's doing that tomorrow. I know he won't be doing the Knicks at noon. They wouldn't have their top team doing that game. I'm going to look at that in a moment. Anunoby had 31, and Karl Anthony Towns had 31. Cat's a beast. Payne had 19 for the Knicks as well. Off of the bench.
That funky shoulder shot at him.
Right. He does got a weird
bench player. He really is. He's not bad. He's also the ugliest guy in the entire league.
The Cavs beat the Jazz 124-113. 76ers beat the Spurs 111-106. Embiid ejected in the second quarter when he was arguing the charge that Wembanyama took. What did you think of that whole scene? Because he went absolutely ballistic, and it was the, I believe it was the woman ref that teed him up, right, and threw him out because he got in her face and was giving her the business after that call.
Yeah, I mean, look, who cares? The Spurs covered 5 and a hook. I don't care about this guy who plays once every 2 weeks, getting thrown out of a game and melting down. The NBA refs suck. They make terrible calls every night. And I don't think the Sixers are all they're cranked out to be. And I think they'll get their ass beat tomorrow in Boston. I think Maxey is a really good player. And I think they are going to get burned at this stake on that Embiid money. I think that deal, they're going to rue the day they gave him all that money. He can barely walk. He can't run. He gets thrown out of games. He plays, once a week? Everybody else plays 4 times a week. I mean, how do you give a guy $200 million and he never plays? And then when he does play, he walks. Yeah. I'm not talking about traveling. I'm talking about walking up the court. He's so fat and out of shape. I don't care what anybody says. I do not buy that team at all. They're overrated. They suck. All I've heard about on this show for 5 years is this, Philadelphia 76ers are in the conversation for a title, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Honestly, they can't sniff it since 83. Since 83, they can't sniff it. And
no.
I mean, that team, Andrew Toney, Jones, they had all kinds of great players. They never had a 7-foot, 300-pound monster, right? They had Dr. J. Okay, so they have sucked since, you know what they are? They're the Chicago Bears. The Bears have sucked monkey onions and ass mustard since 1985. And I mean, they have had 50 draft picks. They've had 15 coaches. And no one, and people still go to the games dressed as Mike Ditka. What does that tell you about your organization when you're living so far in the past? That's what Philadelphia is doing. They think they matter. They don't matter for Shaq at all. And I give a rat's ass about that slow walking, crybaby, overpaid hack who never deserved that MVP either. You can quote me on that too. I've never seen a guy walk in my entire life the whole game and he wins the MVP of the league. Can he at least run once up and down the floor?
No. Can't
Maxey's
do that.
the only player on the whole team. And I'll give you PP when he feels like playing once.
Yeah, but Maxey's the reason they won that game last night. He went off in the fourth quarter. Maxey's the reason why they win on a nightly basis. Frank did look. Breen is taking the long flight out to San Francisco. He's doing the Laker-Warrior game tomorrow, the fourth game, the 8 o'clock at night game.
8 o'clock.
And then, and I know I said the top team, like the top announced team. I didn't realize that he does it with, and I knew Doris and Richard Jefferson. I'd hardly call that the top announced team, but he's the top play-by-play guy. So I would go ahead and, I guess, say that. The rest of the crew stinks. Clippers, Bucks beat the Bulls.
You got that right.
Bucks beat the Bulls 112-91.
I saw someone
outright
the other day
win.
say the reason the NBA ratings are down, and they showed a picture of Doris. Like, I don't think that's the reason.
I don't think that's the reason.
The reason
no.
No, here's the reason. It's because it's gotten – nothing will top baseball for boring. But it is boring watching them just shoot threes for 2 hours. I mean, there's no real movement or cutting or baskets at the rim or even dunks anymore. Do you remember when who was it that said, I'm not going to dunk anymore? It was John Moran. He said, I'm not going to dunk anymore. It hurts my hands. I mean, like, what is next?
I have
one night at the stadium. Like, what is next? Honestly, it's boring. I'm not watching these guys chuck threes for 2 hours. And I told you, I could watch 5 games tomorrow if you paid me.
I have said to you for a long time, the regular season product in the NBA is just it's really bad. It's light years different. And I used to think the playoffs were a lot better. I think even the playoffs aren't that great anymore. We see blowout. We sit here throughout the entire month of May, April, May, and June going, man, that game sucked last night. Like, it's like a very rare you get a really good NBA playoff game anymore either. So all in all, just not good at all. All right, we'll come back.
Are not as good as the players, honestly, in the last couple of decades. In the last couple of decades, the players were better than they are now.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
The holidays come with a touch of craziness, from unwrapping the latest storylines to the best betting insights. We've got everything you need to crank up the excitement this season. We can't promise there won't be a little yelling.
Play a decent schedule. They have maybe 500. There's no rush.
It just ruined my day.
But we can guarantee a whole lot of fun. Merry Christmas from all of us at SportsGrid.
You do not seem to be overly concerned about the Lions holding on to that 1 seed by the end of this season. Will Detroit have the NFC postseason run through the Motor City?
How many plays does the defense have to make in a shootout? They got to make 1 or 2 more plays than the other team. And if they can do that, then Detroit is very much alive in any game.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koleks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. When he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
So, Carver High knows everything, and he may even know where to get the Asian Kyries. Like, I don't know where to get them. Carver High knows everything. Like, whenever we're on the road or in a plane or in a bus or in a train, I'll say, "Hey, Carver High," and I'll ask him a question, and he always has the answer. I don't have the answer to things. Carver High does. He'll even give you the wrong answer and make you believe it's the right answer. He'll give you something. He's not going to just leave you bare and naked ladies.
Well, in the spirit of Christmas, I'll say this to you involving your question. I got no idea what the hell you're talking about. Asian Kyries or what are you talking about? These shoes? These are shoes that you're looking
from Adidas or from Nike. He got fired from Nike, and because he's like woke, and he got a deal with an Asian shoe company in like Japan, and he makes his shoes now over there.
You're gonna make a lot of money over there.
Crazy over there.
He'll make a lot of money.
5 times the size of our country.
Yeah,
they got billions of people over there.
And they love basketball over there too. They love it. They love hoops over there in China. Let me finish.
Japan love it.
Yes, they do. Let me finish these last couple from last night. Then I want to get to tomorrow's games. Clippers beat the Grizz. Really good game in Memphis last night between these two. Tied at 110 down the stretch. Norm Powell getting involved for the Clippers, taking over FanDuel Sportsnet West.
Powell, driven off the line, pulls up from 15. Hot damn! The Clippers take the lead by 2.
Did that guy just say "God damn"?
I believe that is what he said, which is not something you normally hear by the play-by-play.
It would have been way better if it was goddamn. Let me just interject one thing. Luca's on TV right now talking about his brand new foundation for youth sports that he's going to be helping all the children. Do you think he's going to teach him how to be a whiny crybaby bitch that he is in the NBA with his complaining the entire game for 48 minutes? No one. You wonder what's wrong with the NBA today? The guy is one of the best players in the league, and no one can stop him. He has triple-doubles galore, and yet all we do is watch him complain to the refs for 48 minutes. There's nothing more annoying to me than a star player who complains all day. He complains when he gets the call. He'll be at the free throw line complaining after he just got an and one. And I wonder if he's going to teach all the little kids how to be the whiny crybaby bitch that he is. I mean, honestly, you would think that'd be part of the curriculum at the youth facility for the foundation is how to cry and bitch while you play basketball for 48 minutes. I've never, I play in the morning every 4 days a week. I don't call fouls. I just don't. Because if you call a foul against great players, they just think you're a P to begin with. So when you never call a foul, they know you're a man. I mean, I'll get my arm hacked off and I don't call anything. I'll get my head taken off and I don't call anything. They respect you more when you never call a foul. Just play.
Can't call a foul. You just cannot have it. The Thunder beat the Wizards 123-105. For those, I'll do the quick math. I believe they won by 18. Wasn't the line 17.5 for the Thunder?
We had 18. And we covered.
Okay.
We had 18.
All right, we had 18.
Pushed.
All right. Pushed with that one.
Games, Toronto and the Wizards.
Mavs beat Portland 132-108. The Suns did beat the Nuggets 117-90. How about the Pacers, who have been getting involved on this West Coast trip, beating the Warriors 111-105. The dagger from Miles Turner on FanDuel Sportsnet Indiana.
By 2. Tyrese against Schroeder. Turner catches for 3.
Yeah, baby!
Miles Turner!
Wow.
He had 19 in the game. But
yes,
the
he
one
did.
that really impressed me was the Pistons.
Pistons go to L.A. At the Staples, and they beat the Lakers 117-114. The Pistons on this road trip have now they lost in Utah. Shall I say that? No, they lost at home to Utah. On this road trip, they've won in Phoenix, they've won in L.A. against the Lakers, and they still have to play in Sacramento in Denver on the other side of it. I figured, it is Christmas time. It's probably a good time to check in with J.J. Redick and see how he's doing after losing at home to the Pistons. So let's see what he says.
Defensively, I thought we had the right intent, and offensively, I think we tried to play the right way. We were ready to play tonight. It's very hard to win in this league if you have, you give the other team 15 more scoring opportunities than you did. It's hard to win.
So, look, I'll tell you what. I know you're going to talk about this game tomorrow in the chase against Golden State. There is no way I'm laying 10 with that team. I don't think the Lakers can beat anybody by 10.
No, I don't think that they can either with that. Is that the number for that game tomorrow? Is it that big? Oh, wow.
Oh, no, it's 4.
No,
listen,
four.
I am telling you, am I crazy? So I guess it never was. Maybe I am crazy.
The only 10s, and I'm going to give you these when we come back.
10 is the Boston game. That's what I was
Boston game's 10 is where that is. I'll say this. He always, you notice whenever we play J.J. Redick, there's like these long pauses because he knows he's thinking, I don't want to say something that's going to get LeBron mad. So he sits there and he thinks for 20 seconds before he spits it out because he wants to make sure that he doesn't offend anybody like LeBron or AD, etc. In the Laker locker room. So he always has to choose his words wisely, J.J. Redick. What a shame. They'll be in Golden State.
He's afraid of LeBron and his friendship with him to just tell it like it is.
Yeah. That's how it looks to me because he always sits there and sighs and thinks before he spits it out. So that's why I think he's kind of processing that. Victor Wembanyama and Cade Cunningham named the NBA Players of the Week. Those guys have been awesome. Cunningham was awesome in that game against the Lakers last night, too, for the Pistons. He was outstanding. So there you go for them. We will come back 5 games on Christmas Day. I will give you the numbers for all 5 of them before you talk to Coach about all this stuff as well and get his thoughts on who he likes on Christmas Day. So we got a big 5-pack tomorrow.
Listen, I won't deny a couple of them are good games. But I'm watching the Steelers and the Chiefs. And I like the Knicks. That's on at noon, so I'll watch an hour of that, and then I'm watching the Steelers.
The holidays come with a touch of craziness, from unwrapping the latest storylines to the best betting insights. We've got everything you need to crank up the excitement this season. We can't promise there won't be a little yelling.
Play a decent schedule. They have maybe 500. There's no rush.
Oh, that just ruined my day.
But we can guarantee a whole lot of fun. Merry Christmas from all of us at SportsGrid.
You do not seem to be overly concerned about the Lions holding on to that 1 seed by the end of this season. Will Detroit have the NFC postseason run through the Motor City?
How many plays does the defense have to make in a shootout? They got to make 1 or 2 more plays, Ben, than the other team. And if they can do that, then Detroit is very much alive in any game.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koliks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. When he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
What do you think? The future? Do you see a vision of a guy with the hibachi grill on his chest at the game, flipping people chicken and shrimp and beef, and serving up the the fried rice, and then when he sets the onion on fire on top of the hibachi grill?
Now, wait a second.
Where fans are catching shrimp in the air and row O's.
You want to do this? You want to do this like in the seats, like how the beer guy brings it. I mean, there's got to be some legal. I mean, you got to be burning people, and like there's gonna be flames around. Like
no rules.
I don't want to be the lawyer here. I wish I could play one on TV. It's a lucrative job, but I don't think that's legal. That you could have like a hot flame out in the crowd of people, thousands of people at a sporting event. And they're just, and I know those guys are professionals, but I don't know how well it would go. It just takes one drunk to fall down the stairs and knock them into a family of 4. And it
just, used to be,
I'm sorry,
ahead of the curve and living dangerously.
I'm all for it in the concourse. Like, I think they could be throwing the shrimp and everything all over the place in the concourse, and why not?
Did you see the guy on the subway that set the lady on fire, killed her?
I did see that. Yeah, I saw that.
He got murder 1. He's done. He's a immigrant,
he should be.
As they call him.
Yeah.
And his life is over. A woman was sleeping on the subway, and he set her on fire, and she burned to death on the subway. And then you're worried about a hibachi grill in the seats? I mean, this is the future. Frank the Tank's with me on this. R.A. Dickey's on this with me. And you've just, like, really, I mean, I thought you and I...
it's not like I said it was it's not like I said I wouldn't like to see it. I'm just giving you the others. There could be some legal issues with that. There could just, you don't want to... a lot of people get upset. Hal will pick up the freight. He's good at that. Hal likes to pick up the freight when he goes through. 5 games on Christmas Day in the NBA. Why don't we start noon East tip at the Garden? Wembenyama in town against the Knicks. Knicks minus 9.5, 223.5 the total.
the unicorn will be shut down on Christmas by the Knicks. The Knicks are too good for the Spurs. Knicks by 12 at least.
Yeah, Knicks are a lot better than them. But maybe you get a big, Wemby on Christmas Day putting on a show. Maybe you get a unicorn. The Timberwolves have lost 3 in a row. They're in Dallas against the Mavericks. Of course, these two met in the playoffs last year. Dallas minus 5.5, 221.5 the total.
Yeah, I'm on the Mavericks and Luka to crybaby. I think I told you last night that the T-Wolves are going to lose, that they've been playing poorly the last few games, and they have not figured it out yet. They had played – this is how they played at the beginning of the season. They played poorly. Then they started figuring it out and winning, got to 2 games over 500, and now they've dropped those 2 games. Give me the Mavericks.
The Sixers will be in Boston against the Celtics. Celtics minus 10.5, 222.5 the total.
I think this is Boston. I really do. The back door's open with Maxey. I think it'll always be there for the Sixers to cover. But, the Celtics lost last night in, Orlando. They don't lose 2 in a row. They're going to go home on Christmas Day, and they are going to spank the Sixers at the Garden.
Lakers will be in San Francisco against the Warriors. Minus 3.5 for the Warriors. 223.5 is the total.
Yeah, I like the Dubs at the Chase. Now, I know that they lost to the Pacers. I know they lost to the Grizzlies and the Mavs and the Rockets and the T-Wolves. They haven't been playing well, but they turn around and beat the T-Wolves. I like them. I think they'll, they lost twice out of 3 games to the T-Wolves. Already played them a bunch. I know that they're not a good team, but I'm going to take Steph Curry on Christmas Day in San Francisco and Kuminga and Wiggins and Green and the Dubs to beat the below average Lakers. The Lakers right now are going nowhere fast.
Of course, Nuggets and Suns as well as the last game, 10:30 at night. You could talk about that with Coach, as I'm sure you're going to be going back through all these to get his thoughts. So big Christmas Day NBA slate.
Can we get KD on at the footprint at home on Christmas Day?
The holidays come with a touch of craziness, from unwrapping the latest storylines to the best betting insights. We've got everything you need to crank up the excitement this season. We can't promise there won't be a little yelling.
Play a decent schedule. They have maybe 500.
That just ruined my day.
But we can guarantee a whole lot of fun. Merry Christmas from all of us at SportsGrid.
You do not seem to be overly concerned about the Lions holding on to that 1 seed by the end of this season. Will Detroit have the NFC postseason run through the Motor City?
How many plays does the defense have to make in a shootout? They got to make 1 or 2 more plays than the other team. And if they can do that, then Detroit is very much alive in any game.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Those guys, those rookies, the Pacom Daddies, the Jacob Toppins, right? The Tyler Koliks, those young kids. He wants to get them that check. It means a lot to Brunson. And honestly, folks, it's going to mean a lot to this New York Knicks franchise that's never been back to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals since 1999.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh, yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. When he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.